Welcome to Three Count Commentaries as we discuss AEW Rampage from October 22nd, 2021. We will do a breakdown of the TBS tournament bracket at the end of my Rampage review. So I'm going to talk about Rampage and then I'm going to do the TBS title thing. I decided to break it up because it requires two different types of recording from me. So we're going to do it different. All right, first match. Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs in the first round of the World Title Eliminator, and Powerhouse Hobbs lost to a small package. So I was done with this show immediately. No lie. I looked at this and said to myself, who needed this win more? Powerhouse Hobbs. Who needed to, they needed to make Hobbs whole from that bullshit and then they showed the match from July the 7th, 2020, where Orange Cassidy knocked out this giant, mountain of protein, this cannibal, this carnivore named Powerhouse Hobbs. Like he was just as big then as he is now. And they had this, Willow of the Wisp sized dude knock him out. You owed Hobbs for that. And I don't mind like Hobbs didn't knock him out and beat him in 10 seconds, which, I'd have been cool with that if they did. But for him to lose is absolutely ridiculous. And it's uncalled for. There's no way. Even if I look at the tournament, it's bullshit. Okay? I don't know. Why was he in it if he wasn't going to win? Something like, I don't know, man. This was so frustrating to me. And it's not, I know it's because I'm been one of the guys who've been pushing Hobbs since the first time I saw him and saw some potential in him. And now he's finally getting to the point where he can fulfill that potential, and they won't take the fucking restraints off of him. It's like let the dude go, man. I think we've gotten everything we can get from Orange Cassidy. His short main event run with Chris Jericho. We don't need to do that kind of shit anymore. It's not like we're going to build up to the great Orange Cassidy MJF feud or the great Orange Cassidy Bryan Danielson match. Nobody cares about that shit. So Hobbs has already been chosen as one of CM Punk's opponents, one of his early opponents, and he did really good in that match too. How about we push him, But no, we get Orange Cassidy again. Damn it, man, that shit sucks. Let's move on. Tony Schiavone is with Penta El Zero Miedo, who is going to cut a promo by himself, which of course never happens because he doesn't speak English. So, Las Superranas, the Super Frogs, were in the crowd. It was just two guys in frog masks because Penta went out there and snatched the masks. FTR then jumped them from behind, beat him up. Pac comes out there to make the save. Okay. Yeah, all right, I guess. Second match, Andrade versus Britt Baker, DMD. To be quite honest, I knew Andrade was going to lose, so I didn't really pay that much attention. So, after the match, Britt Baker reapplies Lockjaw, which is what she won with, on Andrade. Andrade continues to suffer, and then Ty Conti comes out there to make the save. Ty Conti, of course, does the old holding up the belt, called her a bitch. So I'm guessing Ty Conti is going to be the opponent for Full Gear. And she's been on the roster for a year now, I think. She has like 40 wins or something silly like that, and only a handful of appearances on Dynamite. So of course she's the number one contender. That's how that works in AEW. You disappear for months, you show back up, and you're the number one contender. That's how it works. Yeah. But they have been telling this story with Ty Conti and Andrade for a while. And it makes sense that, Britt Baker is going too far with the Dark Order stuff and the Andrade stuff. So Ty Conti is like, oh yeah, I'm the number one contender anyway. So, let's get it. All right, cool. Simple to the point. Tony Schiavone, is doing Mark Henry's job, and I'm doing the split promo between Andrade and Pac. Andrade cuts this weird promo where he talks about having friends all around the world, and he beat Pac once, he's going to beat him again. Very basic, uninteresting stuff. Somebody needs to script him something better. Pac then cuts a promo and says, this should have been settled weeks ago, but tonight he's going to get revenge, and he wants Andrade to stop obsessing over Death Triangle. I would like for that too. Then Pac defeats Andrade El Idolo It was a pretty good match. They went in there and did some pretty good stuff. A lot of high flying stuff, some good grappling. To me, it was like there was nothing on the line. There was heat, but not really. It was good match for the sake of good match. Really, there was it's a feud, but is it really? Because they haven't had any contact or conversation in 4 weeks. So it was kind of like, I thought after the first match it might have just been over. And now we have to revisit this. And then we 50-50 booked it by having Pac win by reversing the hammerlock DDT. I did like Andrade's double jump slingshot DDT onto the ring apron. Usually I don't like stuff like that because I think it's kind of unnecessary. But it did look pretty cool here. So right after the 3 count, like immediately after the 3 count, Malachi Black appears and attacks Pac. This is of course comes out of nowhere, and I don't know why he did that. So he's beating up on Pac. Andrade helps him because Andrade got beat by him. Arn Anderson comes down to the ring. He points his finger guns at people, fires, and then here comes Cody. And Cody comes in with a reckless abandon, beats up both Andrade and Malachi Black, rips his shirt like Hulk Hogan, is fired the fuck up. Like, Cody is ready to go. You feel me? Cody is back. Cody is Cody is back. The American Nightmare is back. He's in rare form. The eye of the tiger is well in his eyes. It's everything that everybody's supposed to be. It was super hot. It's one of the best finishes of all time. Okay, I'm getting too far. Which is what I saw. I saw so many people talking about, it's one of the best finishes ever. I'm like, it's a basic ass babyface comes out to help everybody thing. And of course, Malachi Black is attacking people at random, which I'm guessing is just part of his gimmick. A lot of people are like, oh, this is WWE. It's based on their WWE history. I'm like, huh? Is it? I don't know. Like, I remember when Tommy End debuted in WWE, and he ended up wrestling Pac at that NXT UK show when he was Neville at the time. I remember that. I don't remember them having any interactions after that. So I remember Andrade and Aleister Black having matches for the NXT title. I remember that. I don't remember them having any interactions after that, though. So it's not like, well, I guess if you want to say everybody in that ring, Cody included and Arn Anderson, are former WWE talents, and therefore that's the connection. I guess so. But their characters were never connected in any measurable way, not that I can remember. Maybe people will have their NXT 2017 a little bit more memorized than I have. But Andrade has been on the roster for 6 months, I believe. Maybe 5 or 6 months. And this is only his 3rd match. Let's say that again. Andrade has been on AEW since February, I believe. So it's probably been 8 months. And he has not had 10 matches yet. This is, and I don't know, it's the stuff he quit WWE over. And I'm guessing as long as people are blowing smoke up his ass, he's happy. And he's probably better paid, most definitely. I did see his tweet where he says F you to WWE. I'm not so sure that has anything to do with Rampage. I think that has a lot to do with probably the backstage whatever between Charlotte and Becky that I also heard took place. Maybe that's going to be some type of issue between Charlotte and Becky, and maybe some officials are taking Becky's side on this thing because she's the bigger star and the bigger draw. I don't know, but I definitely think he should, be a little bit more quiet as somebody who's barely doing anything anywhere, as a matter of fact, because he's not on all of these AAA cards either. He's been signed to AAA for a long time too. He's only had 1 match. So it's like everybody talks brilliantly about how excellent Andrade is and how talented he is. I think he's very talented too, but nobody seems to have figured out how to fucking use him. Nobody seems to have figured out how to make this guy work in a way that, even Conan is having problems, booking Andrade and trying to figure out how to make that character work and how to make what he's doing work. So it's not just WWE. He didn't give them a lot of time. He wasn't on the main roster that long. He's on the main roster for like 2 years, right? He spent quite a while in NXT, but he was on the main roster in 2019, I believe, in 2020. Then he quits in late 2020. So was he on the main roster in 2018? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Aleister Black was though. In any event, the guy is an incredible talent who apparently nobody knows how to use, nobody knows how to do anything with, and it's unfortunate for him, because I really like Andrade. I just wish he was featured more. I think he could be, one of the top Mexican guys, but you have to find something for him, and they're just not doing that right now. All right, so they released the brackets for the TBS Women's Tournament. It is atrocious, and we got to talk about it. The TBS Championship Tournament will start on Dynamite, which is technically tonight if you're listening to this earlier in the day on Saturday. And the matches, so 4 people got buys. Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Chris Statlander. They all got buys in this tournament. Now, the reason they got buys, as far as headcanon from the audience, because I don't believe we were actually told why they got buys, is because they have winning records. And they're like the top 4 or 5 contenders for the world title. And I say, if that was going to be the case, maybe they should have been the only people in the tournament. So why not just have a 4-person tournament? I'm not gonna bend the knee when it comes to certain things. So we're just going to say person instead of women in this situation. So Thunder Rosa gets a bye, Jade Cargill gets a bye, Nyla Rose gets a bye, Chris Statlander gets a bye. Hikaru Shida, who is the winningest person in AEW, doesn't get a bye. She's almost, we're really tiptoeing around this thing where Shida is supposed to be, a very prolific women's wrestler who has won the most matches in AEW history. She didn't get a bye. Nyla Rose gets a bye. Make that make sense. But we'll talk about Hikaru Shida when we get there. So match 1, Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter. So, okay. Anna Jay just got beat by Britt Baker. They literally showed Anna Jay getting beat by Britt Baker. The very same episode they released this tournament on. Jamie Hayter has lost a lot of momentum. I think that, just for the sake, the winner will face Thunder Rosa. So I'm guessing just for the sake of having a opponent for Thunder Rosa that, people may find enticing, it'll probably just be Jamie Hayter. I don't see the need for this anyway. I don't see why, but it is what it is. I guess you have to put them on there, I guess. I'm surprised none of the Japanese women are there either. So we'll talk about that in a moment too. The winner of the Bunny versus Red Velvet will face Jade Cargill. So I guess we just know Red Velvet is going to win because like when Andrade was being pushed in WWE and every match led to him wrestling Rey Mysterio again, Jade Cargill is just going to keep having matches with Red Velvet. So Red Velvet is going to get a win over the Bunny, who is a jobber. So the question is why is Jobber Bunny in this thing, and none of your Japanese girls that you brought in except Shida? So where's Riho? Where's Emi Sakura? Where's Mako Ito? And all them, they all would have been better than the Bunny, but whatever. I guess we're just in that space now. Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. This is a match, the only match in this whole joint that I'm looking forward to, because this match has heat. Deeb smashed that Shida in the head with that trophy. So they have a real storyline going forward. The winner will face Nyla Rose. And that just seems weird to me that, Nyla Rose shouldn't have to prove self against this competition. That people who are infinitely better than Nyla Rose have to fight each other to face Nyla Rose. It's almost that ridiculous thing where John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura and the winner will face Jinder Mahal. That's kind of how I feel here looking at this shit. Because both Shida and Deeb both deserve to be deeper into this tournament just based off skill alone. I'm going to go with Shida. I think that there's probably a better story to tell with Shida going deeper into the tournament and, you know, having been former world champion and everything, being the one who kind of puts over the next person. Penelope Ford versus Ruby Soho. The winner will fight Chris Statlander. So Chris Statlander has a better record than both of these, I'm guessing. But even though Ruby Soho got a title shot first, I think, well, Statlander got beat too. Penelope Ford doesn't rank. This match actually has heat to it because they've been building it up. So that's a positive. I like when tournament matches have heat because the rest of the tournament tends to not have heat. So kudos on Booker of the Year Tony Khan on trying to make some of these matches have importance, like storyline importance. So Ruby is going to win, of course. And Ruby will be wrestling Chris Statlander. And I think that might actually be an interesting contest. Like, as far as the next round matches are concerned, that's a very interesting contest. Ruby versus Chris Statlander. If Penelope Ford beats Ruby Soho, man, I don't know what to tell you. I would be flummoxed. But, hey, Penelope Ford better not win. Looking at this bracket, I can just tell that, you know, Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa is going to end up being the quarters, and probably Shida versus Soho in the quarters. And in the semis, it'll likely be Jade wait, that is the semis. No, the finals rather would probably be Jade versus Ruby. And you know what? That's fine. You know, it's a stupid tournament. I don't see why anybody got to buy. You know, you have enough women on the roster. You have like Kiera Hogan and some other women on the roster. You could have just made it a full tournament instead of a half bracket. You know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could have gone ahead and did the full 16, you know. And if you didn't have 16 women's wrestlers, you know, you enjoy bringing in independent wrestlers, you could have done that. So, the 12-person tournament is stupid. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.